today you guys will see that I am using StreamYard to do this live. So hopefully you guys just caught the beginning of that introduction. And if you didn't, let's do it again. This is your girl and your host, Kayla Rose. Welcome to another episode of Soul Seed, the show which is dedicated to taking you to new levels of you. So, as I was saying, you guys will see I'm using StreamYard to do this live. So, we have leveled up for the beginning of the year for 2021. Hopefully, you guys can hear and see me. It feels a little bit different today. So, I can kind of hear myself, but I'm not sure if you guys can, but it says that you can on the screen. So I'm fingers crossed, hopefully it's working well. And guys, feel free to leave a comment. I can see the announcements there going across the screen. So that's letting you know what you can do to interact with us and some introductory offers, it looks like. So something nice for the new year. So you guys may be able to see from the title of today's show, I'm told that the title has been put up, so you guys should be in the know, and it is what is Agenda 21. So we're going to be getting into that today. So the next couple of shows, today and tomorrow, we're just going to be diving into 2021. It's January. What can we expect? Potential predictions for the rest of the year. And so, as I said, I thought I'd come to you guys today with this particular topic. Before I do get into that, make sure you guys go and download our Relax Radio app. Recommend us to your family and friends. Join us on all our social media platforms, which include Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And also check out our website as well if you guys get the opportunity to. So, Agenda 21, that's what we're talking about today. And what exactly is that? So, that is a United Nations document which was signed by, I believe it's 178 countries, which is geared towards sustainability for human beings on this planet. It was signed in 1972, and the short version of the title of this document is the Rio Declaration. I'll give you the guys the long title in a minute. I'm going to bring it up on the tablet. It's a bit of a mouthful, so I'm going to have to look at it to give you the accurate title, guys. So that is what the document actually is. It's about the sustainability movement. As I said, if I didn't say, it was signed in 1972. So quite a long time ago, right? We're talking about how much I'm going to do that maths on the top of my head, and I'm getting 48 years ago. Am I correct there? No, am I correct there? That would be 48 years ago. Or I'm going to do some double checking the figures for you guys, because just in case my maths is wrong, but please write it in the comments if you think I am, or even let me know if you think I'm right. So, as I said, there's been a lot of, you can say, theories from different people around the true intention of what this document actually is. So I can see I've had someone pop up on the live with a comment, and it is Raphael. And he says, "Good evening, Kayla. Good evening to you. Thank you for being here. Always happy to see you on. You are such a great supporter." So, as I said, happy to see you. So there's been many theories around what this document actually is intended to do. And some of this includes extreme environmentalism, social engineering, and global political control. So, with everything that's been going on with this pandemic at the moment, it's kind of sparked this whole discussion around the true intention of Agenda 21. And we're going to be also touching on the Georgia Guidestones as well. I don't know how many of you have heard of that before, and seeing what the Georgia Guidestone says and why people are making links between that and the year 2021 and this document, Agenda 21, as well. So, behind the theories of the true intention of Agenda 21 is basically that some kind of deep state, or also known as the cabal, that the true intention is to depopulate the planet by at least 90%, or up to 90%. So those figures do not seem very good, right? And as I said, with this whole COVID situation and coronavirus that we're facing on the planet at the moment, people are making links between these and this particular document. And correction there, guys, the document was actually signed in 1992. So if you guys can do the maths for me from there, or so that's 28 years ago. So that's 28 years ago. Write your comments if you think that I'm right, or give me the correct answer if you can. So, and I'm going to tell you guys which countries as well. Well, I'm going to read out the key ones to you. Which countries actually signed this document, although it's non-binding, of course, for so many countries to put their name to it. It obviously holds some significance. So we're going to go through and highlight some of the countries who put their name to this document. And of course, so 21, Agenda 21 was, of course, referring to this year that we're in at the moment. However, certain parts of that agenda or certain intentions have now actually been moved to 2030. And something that's supposed to be happening in 2030 as well is that supposedly AI, which is artificial intelligence, is supposed to be taking on a whole different significance within our society. It already is to many degrees, but it's going to get even deeper than that. And supposedly the human being is going to be linked to AI by the year 2030. So I don't know what your guys' opinions may be on that. Usually I can see you guys coming up from the bottom of the screen and kind of see who's watching and who's on, but I can't see that today. Oh, okay, I've had someone else come on. I have to get a bit closer to see your name. Abu, he says, how are you tonight, Kayla Rose? I'm doing really well. How are you? Let me know. And also, guys, put your locations and I'll give that a shout out as well. Or if there's anything particular that you just want to say that you want me to comment on or answer for you, such as what's going on in your area with this lockdown and COVID situation at the moment. How are you coping and how are you feeling at this time? So we're talking about Agenda 21 today, and we're going to go into some of the objectives that dissenting voices say about the true intentions of Agenda 21. And I would like to just say I use the word alternative theories or other theories rather than conspiracy theories, because my own opinion on that particular phrase, from what I know, is that it was popularized by the CIA allegedly after the assassination of JFK to quiet any people who had different opinions to the official story as to who and why he was assassinated. So I think that using that particular term, using that particular phrase is kind of invalidating if someone has a different opinion potentially to what the official story is. And I would liken it to something such as the rising of Hitler in Nazi Germany, when people were speaking out during that time saying that we think that Germany is being led into a dictatorship. They would have been called conspiracy theorists at the time, even though that was what was actually happening. So we have to be mindful when we attach that term to alternative opinions and just keep an open mind when we're dealing with subjects like this. That's just my opinion. So some of the things that are supposed to happen under the objectives of Agenda 21, this is what the alternative theories say. So a one world government. So that is the centralization of power, which is the erosion of national sovereignty. And the reason why people take issue with this, or some people take issue with this, is that when power is centralized, it's not subject to checks and balances. Like within, to give you guys an example, within the legal system within the UK and many other countries as well, we would have the later we would have the judiciary and we would have the executives, right? So that's basically the courts, the lawmakers, and people such as the police. So if one particular body does an act which is beyond their powers, then you should be able to either go back to the law or go to the courts and seek redress in that type of way. And each section is supposed to keep an eye and a check to make sure each part is complying with what they're supposed to be doing. If all of those entities is within the same power or one person, then as I said, there's not really those checks and balances there. So there's the potential for power to be abused. Other things that are supposed to be happening is a one world currency. So some people may find that a little bit hard to envision at the moment because depending on which country you're in, a lot of countries have many different currencies. There's many different currencies in the world. However, one way that this could be achieved is through a digital currency, which would probably be the easiest way. There's also supposed to be a one world religion if there is going to be any religion at all. And some people would say that you could even call this religion just lawlessness. There's supposed to be one military, so one, as I said, one army, one world army policing everything. There's supposed to be a reduction in the ownership of private property by businesses, independent businesses, and also individuals, which would include land and assets such as vehicles. Everything would be government or state owned. It's supposed to be a time of the breaking down of family units as well. So the destruction of particularly the nuclear family, or what some people may call the traditional family. There's two sides of the coin on this. So of course people should have the liberty and freedom to be able to structure their family unit however works best for them and in a way that's going to make them happy. But some people would say there has been this progressive decline in the promotion of a traditional family unit. There is also supposed to be mandatory vaccinations. And as I said, because of particular points such as this and coronavirus, this is why a lot of this talk is coming up at the moment. And this has reignited the discussion about the true intentions of Agenda 21, because right now we're at a point on the planet and also in the UK where we may see the introduction of mandatory vaccinations. So we're watching this space and seeing what could potentially happen. There's been the mention of microchips as well. So I guess that links to some of the vaccinations. And we've heard that in certain parts of the world, I believe, in it's possibly Sweden, I think it is, that there has been numbers of people who have been signing up to get microchipped to do things such as going to work or purchase things. There's also supposed to be the introduction of a social credit system. I don't know how many of you are aware of this system which exists in China at the moment, but if it has been implemented in one part of the world, it is feasible that we could see it implemented in other parts of the world as well, right? So could it be coming to the UK? And then there's supposed to be the government controlling schools and also taking away parental rights as well from their caregivers and their parents. And so basically children being raised by the state. So overall, this is describing in a certain way a global international communist society. So some people are concerned and worried about this. And I think that this is an important topic and it ties into discussions on free speech as well. Even though when you have free speech within a democratic society, many people may say things which you don't agree with or things that you don't like. But free speech is really about defending the person's right to be able to speak it. and not whether you actually agree with them or not. Because if you police what people can say, depending on whether you like it or not, then you take away the right for anyone to speak. So you're basically saying, oh, only people I agree with can speak or say a particular opinion or express a particular view. So even if someone says something which doesn't align with your belief system or your ideals, it's about the person's right to be able to say it and not whether you actually agree with what they're saying or not. So I said that I would go and give you guys some of the countries which actually signed this particular document. So just give me a second here while I try and bring this up on the tablet. And I'm also going to read you guys the preamble, actually. I'm going to read you the preamble to this document. Of course, it's taken a little while to open, right? Because I'm on the live. Gadgets always want to start playing up as soon as you need them to start working properly. Just give me a second here, guys. Hopefully it does start working. Whilst I'm waiting for that to load, let me go on to some of the countries. So some of the countries who signed this document include Afghanistan, Brazil, Algeria, Australia, Canada. So I'm going to highlight the main ones here. We've got Bangladesh, Barbados, China, Colombia, Belgium, Congo, Croatia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Egypt, Ethiopia, Mexico, Germany, Greece. As you guys can tell, these are some of the most well-known countries or some of the biggest countries in the world. Norway, Pakistan, India, Japan, Romania, Kenya, Saudi Arabia, the UK, and Northern Ireland. So included Spain, Venezuela, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and that's just to name a few. So there are, if you guys want to go check it out, do some research, there are many other countries who have put their name to this particular document. And as I said, I wanted to read you guys the preamble to this, but it just doesn't seem to be working right now. Let me try something else. Okay, I managed to get it out. So the preamble reads, humanity stands at a defining moment in history. We are confronted with a perpetuation of disparities between and within nations, a worsening of poverty, hunger, ill health, and illiteracy, and continuing deterioration of the ecosystems on which we depend for our well-being. However, integration of environment and development concerns and greater attention to them will lead to the fulfillment of basic needs, improved living standards for all, better protected and managed ecosystems, and a safer, more prosperous future. No nation can achieve this on its own, but together we can, in a global partnership for sustainable development. And as I just mentioned, this document was signed in 1992, so 28 years ago. And do you guys think any of these preliminary objectives have been achieved to date? Just getting you guys' opinions on that to see what you say. So this is actually a 350 page, just over document. So it's pretty much a book. You're going to need to take some time out to get through all of that and see everything that it has to say if you're interested in doing so. But if you just punch that into the internet, you'll be able to bring that document up if it's something that's of interest to you. So, as I said, I would also touch on the Georgia Guidestones and speak about why some people are linking Agenda 21 and Agenda 30 to this document that was signed. And just to mention as well is that it has had credibility at higher levels of politics, where someone called Malcolm Roberts, who was an Australian senator, he, in one of his first speeches, he spoke about how the potential of implementing Agenda 21 was encroaching on Australian sovereignty. And now I'm going to just go into what does the Georgia Guidelines actually say. So it says, and it's the first one that most people have concerns about. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Number 2, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. 4, so that was 3 that I just said. 4 is rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. 5, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. 6, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. 7, avoid petty laws and useless officials. 8, balance personal rights with social duties. 9, prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. 10, be not a cancer on the earth, leave room for nature, leave room for nature. So some of these recommendations on the Georgia Guidestones are quite beautiful, but the ones that stand out to me are 1 and 6. And as you guys will remember, so it says maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. So I think the last time we checked, the global population is about 7.8 billion. So that is where it ties into the depopulation of the planet by up to about 90%. And how are they going to do that? And then at number 6 is let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. So right there, it's making the recommendation that there could be a particular world court which would be responsible for solving disputes or some kind of link between all the nations and their legal systems, and going to a world court to get a determination from whichever judge or who they decide to put in that seat, which is quite a lot of power for one or even a small group of people. So that pretty much sums up my show for today. I think I've mentioned everything I wanted to you guys for today. As I said, I just wanted to bring that to the table and give you guys something to think about. I think it's very important to be open-minded, especially during a time like this. I can see that the camera's glitching a little bit, so hopefully you guys are seeing and hearing me okay. As I said, please write comments and let me know if this live went well and if you guys are liking the new StreamYard lives as well. But as I said, I just want to bring this topic to the table, give people something to think about and to explore other sources of information and other people's opinions and theories on exactly what is going on the planet at the moment. So we're going to be doing a lot of those talks as well. Some of the topics I really want to save for when I get back into the studio and I get some really good guests joining me. I know those will be some interesting conversations, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. So as I said, I'm going to be saving some topics until then. But tomorrow I'm going to be coming back to you guys speaking about potential predictions for 2021, things that we can expect, and also the spiritual significance of the year as opposed to 2020. So please join me for that if you can. So as usual, I want to wish you guys a happy rest of your Sunday night. I hope you guys enjoy it and have a great start to your week tomorrow. This has been your girl and your host, Kayla Rose. Thank you for joining me. And this has been Soul Seed, the show which is dedicated to taking you to new levels of you. As usual, much love and stay blessed.